Hey everybody, it's Dave. Welcome back to another Football Manager experiment where we're going to be looking at every Premier League club with a club favourite or club legend in charge. Every Premier League club, all 20 of them, have got a brand new manager. And we're going to be seeing how they can get on. Whether they're a club legend who've done well for themselves after their professional footballing career, or whether it's someone that's tried sort of the non-league management game and not really done too well. There's one or two of those. First thing to note though is that there are a few club legends that ideally I would have wanted to put on, but they're not quite on the game. For argument's sake, Alan Shearer is in the database, but he's listed as a retired person. So if you try and put him as a staff member, he has no attributes, no stats, nothing. So I wanted to be fair and use... I didn't want to make stats up. I wanted to use people that were on the database, hence why some of the players are a bit strange, let's say. But let's jump straight into the list. As you can see here, these are all the managers. So Arsenal have got Thierry Henry, Bournemouth have got Steve Fletcher, Brighton have got Bobby Zamora, Burnley have got Marty Dobson, Cardiff have got Robert Earnshaw, Chelsea have got Frank Lampard, Crystal Palace have got Julius Peroni, Everton have got Neville Southall, Fulham have got Kit Simmons, Huddersfield have got Nathan Clark, Leicester have got Robert Hoof, Liverpool have got Steven Gerrard, Man City with Sean Goater, Manchester United with Ryan Giggs, Newcastle with Norberto Solano, Southampton with Ricky Lambert, Tottenham with Pat Jennings, Watford with Luther Blissett, West Ham with Paolo Di Canio, and Wolves with Steve Bull. A quick look at the managers though. Thierry Henry, I know he's had a failed career as such at Monaco, but a fantastic player for Arsenal. Still dubbed maybe one of the best Premier League strikers of all time, but obviously we'll leave that one up for your discussion. Steve Fletcher, a coach at Bournemouth in real life, had a massive career with the club, so he gets the nod, so some good attributes there on him. Bobby Zamora, more or less sort of ignited his career as a Brighton player, so he's going to be there as well. Quickly check on their general, and Bobby Zamora is listed as an icon on there. Next up, we have got Marty Dobson at Burnley, made a massive number of appearances throughout his playing career with the club, so he gets the job. He's currently ahead of youth development at Everton, so quite significantly older than some of the managers, but it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Robert Earnshaw at Cardiff. In an ideal world, I would have wanted to put Craig Bellamy in charge, but Robert Earnshaw, back in the day, started off his career with Cardiff, scored loads of goals for them as well. Frank Lampard at Chelsea, I don't think that needs much introduction. Currently managing at Derby in real life, but was a fantastic player for Chelsea throughout his career. Julius Peroni at Crystal Palace, one of the couple of player managers that we've got some great attributes there. Been at Palace for a number of years. Neville Southall at Everton, again another player another manager has been at that club for a long time. Dabbled with management by the looks of things down in the lower leagues and not really done too well, but attribute wise he's probably one of the weakest ones. Kit Simmons, I apologise because I don't quite know how to say it. He's currently, I believe, assistant manager to Chris Coleman over in China, but he has been manager of Fulham before actually, so he's got a little bit of experience of the role. Nathan Clark in Huddersfield, this is probably the most strange one because he's not really listed as a player favourite or player icon. The only other person, I'll quickly show you, but Nathan Clark has made a massive number of appearances for Huddersfield back when they were in the Football League. But if you quickly go into Huddersfield, all their legends aren't playable apart from Michael Hefferley, who's only 27, so I didn't really want to chuck him into management. And then I'd have to go down the David Wagner route or whatever, but you know, we'll keep it as Nathan Clark. Robert Hoof as Leicester. Again, there was probably a couple of options for Leicester. We could have had Jamie Vardy or Gary Lineker maybe. But I think we go with Robert Hoof, who's there on the icons. Could have had a couple of others, maybe Nigel Pearson come back and whatnot. We've got Steven Gerrard at Liverpool. Again, don't need much introduction for this one. Currently managing at Rangers in real life. Sean Goater at Manchester City. Tried to manage back Eccleston back in 2017. Again, quite weak attribute-wise. So interesting to see how he gets on with the big boys at City. Ryan Giggs, who's currently manager of Wales. He's going to be managing Manchester United. Norberto Solano, who will be at Newcastle there. Just clicking through these so you guys can see the attributes. Ricky Lambert, Some good coaching attributes for him at Southampton as well. Pat Jennings at Tottenham. I believe he's probably the oldest manager in this database in the Premier League anyway. But been at Spurs as a player, been at Arsenal as a player for long spells as well. Luther Blissett at Watford. Back in the day, smashed it for Watford. Had loads of appearances there. Grabbed a big number of goals for them as well. Paolo Di Canio over at West Ham United. And finally, Steve Bull at Wolves. Again, one of the lower attribute players. But I've rambled on for enough now. We're going to skip forward to the end of the first season. See who's won the league. See who survived. And see how much managerial casualties that we have. Right then, we're at the end of the first season and already in secure jobs. There's a big number of those. What I'm going to say as well is that I'm going to do a blog post on this, grading all the managers that I'll put on the database. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. I'll put that at the top of the description so you can see it. But let's jump into the Premier League and see who won the league. So Man City are the title winners. Wolves, Fulham and Brighton all go down. Southampton in 12th get Europa League as well. But the top 6 is probably how we envisaged team-wise. City, United, Arsenal and Spurs make the Champions League. Liverpool and Chelsea miss out and get Europe. But Southampton also get Europe as well. Let's look at managerial, managers then. Let's go on to Job Security. And let's go on to Premier League again. So Arsenal has still got Henry. Bournemouth has still got Steve Fletcher. Brighton now have Sam Allardyce in charge. Burnley have got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge. Cardiff have still got Earnshaw. Chelsea have still got Lambert. Palace have still got Peroni. Jorge Jesus is now at Everton. Scott Parker is now at Fulham, as in real life. Brendan Rodgers at Huddersfield. So Robert Hoof is at Leicester still. Gerrard's still at Liverpool. Sean Gota won the league with Man City. Ryan Giggs still at United. Ruben Comendes is at Newcastle now. Ricky Lambert still at Southampton. Pat Jennings still at Spurs. Juan de Ramos at Watford. Paolo Di Canio still at West Ham. And Andre Villas-Boas at relegated Wolves. Interesting. So we've lost, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 managers out of the 20. The rest have kept their jobs. Let's see who performed particularly well then. So Man City winning the league quite comfortably, to be honest, by 14 points. What a start to the season for Sean Gota. Manchester United, Arsenal and Spurs. So Pat Jennings getting a top 4 place as well, alongside Ryan Giggs and Thierry Henry. But all of the bottom 3... Even, was it Huddersfield changed their manager? Yeah, they got Brendan Rodgers. So the bottom 5 with, no, all of them. All of this bottom 6 have changed managers. Who are the other ones that have changed managers as well? Watford changed manager, but they finished up in 14th. Newcastle. I think basically this bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Cardiff changed as well, didn't they? No? No, Burnley as well. Oh, I don't know, but obviously most of the bottom sides lost their managers in the end. But let's have a look at Man City, because Sean Gota winning the league for them, and he's now listed as a legend, whereas before I'm pretty sure he's listed as an icon. Didn't win the Champions League, runner-up in the Carabao Cup, he won the Community Shield. So Henry won the Carabao Cup, Southampton won the FA Cup, that's how they got Europe. Very interesting indeed, very interesting. So yeah, good start. Good start for Gota. Lots of managerial changes. So let's continue on to Season 2. So then, Season 2, we're going to see if there's any more managerial changes. We can see Sean Gota and Robert Hoof both under pressure at their jobs at the moment. But let's quickly go on to job security again. And we'll go on to the Premier League. Yep. So, Premier League-wise, we've got now Henry still at Arsenal. Obviously, Aston Villa have been promoted. They've got Pellegrini in charge. Steve Fletcher still at Bournemouth. Now, Ralph Hasenhüttl is taking over Burnley from Solskjaer. Robert Earnshaw at Cardiff. Lampard still at Chelsea. Peroni still at Palace. Solskjaer now at Everton. Brendan Rodgers still at Huddersfield. Robert Hoof still at Leicester. Gerrard still at Liverpool. Gota still at Man City. Ryan Giggs still at United. Ruben Comendes still at Newcastle. Paul Warne, Rotherham in the Premier League. Interesting. Ricky Lambert with Southampton still in charge. Pat Jennings still at Spurs. Juan de Ramos at Watford. Gus Hiddink at West Brom. And Paolo Di Canio at West Ham. So some managers still keeping their jobs. Has there been any changes? Did any ex-managers lose their job? I don't think they did. So Manchester United winning the league with Man City just behind 2 points, but those two running it. So Giggs gets his first league title. Liverpool down in third, and Spurs down in fourth. So is Pat Jennings still the Spurs manager? Yeah, he is. Doing very, very well. Let's see. Yeah, he's doing quite well. 2 Champions League finishes for him already as well. So we'll quickly go back onto the Premier League. Teams that have gone down were Burnley, Rotherham and Aston Villa. Rotherham, surprisingly, didn't even finish bottom. They're doing quite well. Strange. I've never seen them do that well before. West Ham finishing 10th and getting Europe again. Let's quickly see, because we didn't see sort of Champions League winners and stuff last time out. See if any of these English teams have made a... well, United are in the Champions League final, so Ryan Giggs may get a Champions League win. Carabao Cup they won as well. This could be an extremely successful season for Ryan Giggs. He could win the treble. Although the FA Cup isn't included in that. A predicted finish of 4th. They've won the league and they could get a treble. We'll skip forward to the next season to see if he does that. Man City, though... Sean Goater obviously winning the league in his first season, missing out by 2 points this season. Very, very interesting, but still holds the job. Let's get forward to season 3 and see how everyone gets on. So at the end of season 3, some more jobs under pressure. But let's go to the job security section and see how people get. Is that a woman in charge of Accrington Stanley? Look at that. You don't see that very often, do you? Right, let's go on to Premier League. Take off international jobs just in case. So then we've got Arsenal. Thierry Henry's still in charge. Steve Fletcher doing well at Bournemouth, still in charge there. They've got Mauricio Sarri, now in charge of Brighton. Incredible. Julian Lopetegui at Cardiff. Frank Lampard still in charge at Chelsea. Petkovic at Crystal Palace. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still at Everton. Philip Cocu at Huddersfield. Carlos Corberán at Leeds. Robert Huth still at Leicester. Steven Gerrard still at Liverpool. Sean Goater still at Man City. Ryan Giggs still at United. Comendes. Martinez now at Southampton. Allegri now at Spurs. Juan de Robinson at Watford. Gus Hiddink at West Brom. Paulo Di Canio still at West Ham. Vincenzo Montella at Wolves. So let's start off with Allegri. He's got the job at Spurs now, who finished in 6th place. So what happened to Pat Jennings? He retired, maybe, I'd assume. Yeah, retired from management. And no surprises, he retires. 60% win ratio, which is pretty good. Did he win the Champions League? Surely not. So Manchester United winning it last year. Spurs. Oh no, that was the last. They got to the semi-final though. To be fair to them, let's have a look. So stages. Last season, Manchester United. Ryan Giggs has won it twice. Then he won it this season. He won it last season. Wow, I never saw that. Spurs beat Barcelona. Pat Jennings won the Champions League in the first season of this thing. I never even saw that. What a season he had. And Manchester United have won it twice since. So an English winner every season so far. What a legend. He's got to be listed up there now with the legends, isn't he? He is. Pat Jennings. This is good. This is what I like to see. These people getting moved around. So Henry finishing 3rd. Let's quickly see if... Well, what we'll do at the end of the 5 years to see who's won big trophies. But at the moment, things looking the same. Man City back on top now. Much closer Premier League race. Sean Goater still in charge, winning another Champions League title. Manchester United in 2nd. Those two really fighting out for the best team. Leicester now in 7th, getting European football. Wolves just missing out on the relegation zone. Brighton, Palace and Cardiff in the end going down. Good debut season for Leeds as well. So that's pretty cool to see. Let's quickly look at the FA Cup winners. I'd assume, well, Liverpool went and won that as well against Man City quite comfortably. Carabao Cup winners, we had Man City. So Sean Goater is winning titles. Let's skip forward then to season 4. Going to see if we have any more managerial casualties, or if these ones that are still in charge have cemented their place with their clubs. So then here we are at the end of the 2021-22 season. And let's have a quick look again at the Premier League and see who's in charge. Right then, Thierry Henry is still in charge at Arsenal. Let's scan through. Steve Fletcher still in charge at Bournemouth. Frank Lampard no longer in charge of Chelsea. We've got Bruno Lage who is Benfica manager. I'm not sure if he's Benfica manager in real life, but he's very, very good attribute-wise. So let's have a quick look at what happened to Frank Lampard. He was sacked from his role as Chelsea manager. He won no silverware at his time at the club, and he has not managed yet since. Did that give a dent to his... he's still an icon at the club, but not into the legendary status, because he didn't do particularly well, did he? Solskjaer still at Everton. We've got Robert Huth still at Leicester, doing quite well. Steven Gerrard still at Liverpool. Sean Goater at Man City. Ryan Giggs at Man United. And I think we've got that. So we've had a few managers move on, I believe. I mean, Steve Fletcher's doing a stellar job at Bournemouth, isn't he? He's like keeping them out of trouble, doing really well with them. I just want to see really if he's cemented himself into legendary status. I'm not sure if he was there already though. Premier League though this season, Man City win it again, this time by 2 points. Ryan Giggs, Manchester United down in second, Liverpool third, Arsenal fourth. The title race had 3 points in it. The top four were miles ahead of anyone else, including Chelsea. Huddersfield finishing in sixth. Who was their manager? Philip Cocu, they're doing the business, Huddersfield are. And Newcastle down in seventh. Leeds, Wolves and Sunderland go down. Great to see Sunderland back up there as well. So plenty of changes. It's a weird database, isn't it? It's crazy changes. In regards to the FA Cup, let's have a quick look. FA Cup, Manchester United won it. So Giggsy won that against Manchester City. And then the Carabao Cup was won by Man City. Champions League, we got a winner in that. Man City, wow, against Manchester United. It's literally Man United and Man City who are the gods of this save at the moment. Unbelievable. Sean Goater is doing such a good job, isn't he? What a manager he has been. Wow, I can't believe it. He's doing very, very well. Milestones, look at that. Man City's won the Champions League. He's won the Premier League. He's won the Carabao Cup. Wow, fantastic, fantastic season. Right then, let's skip forward one more year then, into the last season. We're going to see how the managers get on, see who's still got their jobs, and see maybe where all the managers that we kicked off with are now. So here we are at the last year of the experiment. As you can see now, Ryan Giggs under pressure. Did he bottle the league as he let Sean Goater and Man City win it once again? Let's have a quick look. Premier League then. Sean Goater now at Arsenal. What's going on there? He's left and joined Arsenal by the looks of it, unless he got sacked. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. We'll have a look at that in a second. Sarri at Villa. Steve Fletcher still at Bournemouth. Chelsea with Bruno Lage still. Solskjaer at Everton. Robert Huth still at Leicester. Gerrard still at Liverpool. Ernesto Valverde now at Man City. Giggs still at United. And that is that. So not many managers survived that. But Sean Goater now at Arsenal. So let's have a look if he left Man City. He did. He left Man City. You can see his milestones there. Unbelievable. 9 cup wins, 3 league wins. Including the Club World Championship, the Super Cup, the Community Shield, the Champions League. A 74% win ratio. Valverde as well has started off fairly well in charge. Let's have a look at the Premier League though. Sean Goater didn't have a good start at Arsenal, finished it off in 7th. Man City did win the league though, in the end. Wait, when did he leave? Was it sort of like mid-season, was it again? Milestones. Yeah, he's only just joined in March, which is a bit weird, isn't it? A bit of a weird timing, especially when you're top of the league. I don't really understand that. But yeah, Man City win the league. United in second again. Level on points. How close have those two been throughout this? Unbelievable. And Chelsea finishing in third, just 1 point behind. FA Cup. Well, Arsenal went and won that. So Sean Goater did get a little bit of silverware on his debut season. In the Carabao Cup, Manchester United won that. And then in the Champions League, are we going to go for a full sweep of English winners? No, we're not. FC Bayern beat Barcelona in the end. Did we see any other English teams? Man City and Man United both in the semi-final, but wasn't to be. So then that is the end of that. We're going to have a quick look then at all the managers and see where they are now. Obviously, Thierry Henry, we never noticed that. He lost his job, must have been, at Arsenal. Sean Goater taking over. So we go to Arsenal. Freddie Ljungberg took caretaker charge. Thierry Henry sacked and got just the one Carabao Cup win. And now Sean Goater in charge has already matched that and got the FA Cup win. We go to Aston Villa. They weren't in the experiment. Go to Bournemouth. Steve Fletcher has been in charge for 4 years. All coming up to 5 years, and he's doing very, very well. Got himself a legendary status there. Bobby Zamora started off, did not have a good start at Brighton, did he? He ended up losing his job and hasn't gone back into management since. Chelsea had Frank Lampard, still not gone back into management, and he didn't win anything whilst at the club. Everton started off with Neville Southall. He was another one that got axed before it got too far. 27 win% ratio, and obviously he retired, so he isn't available to even have a look at anymore. Huddersfield started off with Nathan Clark. Probably one of the worst starts out of any managers, and again retired, so we can't see anything from him either. Leicester have still got Robert Hoof. Not been a bad tenure for him. Hasn't won anything, but a half decent win ratio for a team that sort of mid-table. Steven Gerrard has only won the one cup. It was the FA Cup, and got a half decent win ratio. But I think the next step for them is to try and start some sort of title challenge. Sean Goater, by far one of the most successful managers in this experiment. 74% win ratio. 3 league wins, 9 cup wins. Fantastic from him. Down to Manchester United though, Ryan Giggs, 1 league win but 10 cup wins. They've won the Champions League a number of times, and a 71% win ratio for him. Fantastic for him as well. Newcastle started off with Alberto Solano. He lost his job quite quickly. 30% win ratio. He is there, and he's now manager of Peru, so not doing too bad for himself. International management. Southampton started off with Ricky Lambert. He did win the FA Cup, but then got sacked shortly after. He's now manager of Fulham. So he's still in management and didn't do too badly at Southampton, to be honest. Have a quick look to see if he's in a legendary statusship, and he certainly is as a player and manager. Tottenham Hotspur, what a career they had with Pat Jennings. He won the Champions League with them. Although it doesn't come up on his career milestones anymore, it must have been because he retired, it disappears. But he did very, very well there. And Spurs since have got Klopp. They've had Allegri as well, who got sacked. So very well indeed. Luther Blissett didn't do too well for Watford, unfortunately. He got sacked quite quickly with just 4 games won and 10 games lost. West Ham United, Paulo Di Canio was sacked after just over 3 years. He did win an FA Cup though. Not the worst win ratio, but I'm sure they could have would have expected slightly better. In regards to the other teams though, Crystal Palace, they started off with Julius Peroni. He lasted just over 2 years and then was sacked as manager. He's not gone back into management since. Cardiff have gone through a whole lot of managers, but started off with Robert Earnshaw, who resigned from the job and got the Wales job. So he didn't do too bad for himself either in the end. Lasted just over 2 years. Didn't have the best of win ratios, but to be honest, he kept him up in that first season, so did quite well. Burnley started off with Marty Dobson, one of the oldest managers, but then got sacked after just 177 days. He's obviously retired. They've gone through a massive number of managers, but now towards the top of the Championship. Wolves started off with Steve Ball, and again, only 210 days passed before he got the axe. Won 8 games, lost 12, got 6 draws and didn't win anything. Wolves have gone for a whole load of managers since then and have just got promoted back to the Premier League. Fulham started off with Kit Simons. He got sacked after 321 days, 23% win ratio, and they've gone through a few managers and now got Ricky Lambert, and they'll be coming up with Wolves in the Premier League. And that is all for this experiment. Guys, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to put a link to the start of the experiment, so if you want to manage alongside all these legends, make sure you let me know. If there was anyone else that you thought that I could have put in charge of your club, or if there's another league you want me to try this out with, let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, I'm going to do a blog post on it all as well, so if there's anything that you feel I've missed out, I can add that to the blog post as well. But until next time, guys, make sure you hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you all very, very soon.